My name is Somjook. God told me I'm not finished yet. From 2021, I got sick and I didn't know what was happening in my body. But I got so sick, I couldn't hardly do much. I went to doctor and doctor say something, he say in your liver, I need you to check. And I think I got done MRI or some tests, and they thought it's okay. But after that, 2022, I got so sick, I couldn't hardly make it to the work. Some days I would lay down in my bed. Only time I get up, if I want to eat something, but I couldn't hardly eat anything, and I couldn't hardly get enough air. So 2023, I went back to doctor, and at the time I was sick, and when I went to doctor say, everything is fine, your lung is fine. And I said, I can hardly breathe. And he keep giving me medication. And at the time, my old doctor retired. And so I got a new doctor, and he keep giving me medication. And he said, it's fine, it's fine. And so September the 3rd, 2023, my son came from church that day. And him and Sarah came. And they came to my room, and he said, Mama, you doing okay? And I said, I'm fine, but I can't hardly breathe. He said, Mama, please let us take you to emergency room. And I said, okay, take me to emergency room. So we went to emergency room, and that doctor said, let me take x-ray. And I said, okay. And I could hardly walk to the x-ray room, and nurse helped me to get there. So when he saw that x-ray, he called Duval and showed that picture. And he came to me and said, Miss Kim, I need you to give me permission to call ambulance. I need you to go to a hospital right now. And I said, what's going on? And he showed me that picture of x-ray, and my lung over right side was black. And my left side was some black. And he said, your liver is not working, it's dead. And that fluid get around your top of your lungs, and that's why you couldn't get hardly breath. And so when ambulance came, got me to hospital, and so many doctors came in and started just give me so many tests. Later on, they saw cancer in the liver, and that I was in and out of hospital from that time. At that time when I got home, I was ready to meet Jesus to face, but I knew in my heart that I didn't finish my job, what God had put in me. And I said, God, if you think I'm ready to go, and you think I'm finished my job, then I'm ready to go. And I was in peace, and Jesus said, Sam, this is my peace. You know, I was at peace. And my son, Duval, and my Duval told me, he said, Mama, do you realize what they're saying to you? You can die at any time. Your liver is not working, it's dead. You gotta get a transplant. They cannot do anything. That liver will not come back. And I was at so peace, I couldn't worry about them. You know, I was ready to meet Jesus. I kind of was happy inside, you know, I was ready to go. So I said, oh God, for my children's sake, I want to stay a little while longer if you allow me to. And so I told my son, I said, okay, I will do anything, whatever the doctor told me to do, I will do it. So after that, just peace came upon me. Even I have so much pain after that. I was sick because my liver wasn't working, my organs was failing one by one. So I was in and out of hospital about 11 times until I got surgery. From September 3rd, I probably was in hospital more than at home. And so it seems like every time I go to hospital in Dubai, and Sarah got a business, and every time seems like they have to go out of town. And God would put me in a hospital so they didn't have to worry about it. In December, when I came out of there in 22nd of December, and I was in line for the transplant, I wasn't in first in line, so I didn't really know how long I have to wait. Then February, before I went in hospital, there was Tuesday, I was getting blood work done. My daughter-in-law, Jackie, before she went to work, she took me because I couldn't drive anymore. And that evening, 4 o'clock, my nurse called me. She said, Miss Kim, I want you to go back to get a blood work done again. And I said, why? And she said, we need to check something else. And I said, okay, but I don't have no way to get there. So when I called Chris, because Duval and Sarah was out of town, and so I called Chris. He said, Mama, we will take you this evening. So I said, okay. So they came, got me to get a blood work done. And I got back, and next morning, Wednesday, my nurse called me back. She said, Miss Kim, I want you to go back to get a blood work done again. I said, okay, but I have to find a way to get there. And so while I was waiting to get somebody to take me, she called me back and she said, Miss Kim, it is so dangerous. I need you to come down to hospital right now so we can check something. I said, what is wrong? What is wrong? And she said, your INR, she called, because I was taking blood thinner. I was taking 2 shots a day, and I was taking a pill top of that because I had a cancer in my liver and blood clot was in there. So I was taking like that. She said, but our score went up to 10. I said, what's supposed to be? She said 1 or 1.5. She said, it is so dangerous. I want you to come down. And I couldn't find no way. And Duval and Sarah was out of town. So I called Chris again, my son. And he said he dropped everything. And he said, Mama, I will take you down there. And it took 2 hours. And he came and he took me down there. So we got there about 1 o'clock. And they put me in hospital room. Because my INR went up to 10 in the hospital, they have to put me in first in line because mine was so dangerous. And my doctor told me, Dr. Henry told me, he said, Miss Kim, because your INR is 10, you're going to be in first in 7 days. I think it was 7 days or 10 days. And he said, hopefully something happened before then. And that's exactly what happened. And so next morning, when they checked it, it was 3.8. And so doctor released me from the hospital. He said, you can go home. So I said, okay, but I couldn't find a way to come home. And so I say, is that okay for me to stay to Fridays because they can come get me Friday? And so they said, okay. But that night, this nurse, elderly nurse came in. I never seen her before and I never seen her back. She said, what's wrong with this doctor? Why is he sending you home? It's 3.8, your INR, and we need to see in the morning. And I said, I don't know. And she said, let me send the email to my doctor and see what he said. Why is he sending you home? We got to check in the morning. And so when she did all of that, and doctor said, okay, we're going to want you to stay here until tomorrow, until we check again. And so I said, okay. So I went to sleep that night, Thursday night. Next morning, about 5 o'clock, I was in the bathroom, and my nurse said, Miss Kim, are you in there? I said, yeah. She said, this coordinator called, and she want to talk to you, but she will call you back. And so when I went back to my bed, and that lady called, and she said she's the coordinator of liver transplant. And I said, okay. And she said, Miss Kim, we found liver. And I'm supposed to come home that day. And I said, what? And she said, we found liver. And this person who passed away, her liver seems like it fit you perfect. We're going to check. we're going to autopsy and everything, 1 o'clock. And after we check, all this liver is fine, it'll be 3 o'clock. And then we're going to put you in surgery 4 o'clock. Until 4 o'clock, I didn't know what to do, so I keep asking my doctor and my nurse. My nurse was a male, and he said, Miss Kim, it looks like surgery is scheduled. And I said, okay. And then probably every time he came in my room, I was asking, and he said, it still looks like in surgery in 4 o'clock. And by 3:45, I called Chris. And when I told him about earlier, and I told Chris, I said, Chris, they found liver for me. He said, Mama, you lying. He didn't know what to do. And I said, yeah, they found liver, and I'm supposed to go in surgery in 4 o'clock. And he said, I will come down. And I said, no, don't come. Don't come until my surgery is done. Then you guys come. Even Duval and Sarah, they said, we're going to fly down there and come straight to hospital. I said, don't come until I finish. By Saturday, you will come. And they said, okay. And so as soon as I finished talking with Chris, and they came for me with bed, and I went down there, and doctors and nurses, they were so happy, and I was thanking God, and I was so relaxed. I wasn't afraid, and doctor explained what they're gonna do. He said it will take about 9 hours surgery, and you're gonna be fine. I said, yeah, I'm fine. When I woke up Saturday morning, about 2 o'clock, I think it was, and I was so much pain. But I was thanking God. I woke up, I said, God, so amazing. Because my INR was 10, they put me in first in line. So that's the reason I got a liver. When you are favored with God, I don't care what people tell you, it doesn't make no difference. Every word come out of God's mouth is a reality. And trust that, because He is the one in control. He loves you so much. Now I feel like God loves me so much. I don't know how to say with words the appreciation for God. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Hold on to God with everything, especially the Word of God. And that's your weapon for what you're going through in this life.